They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
All right, guys, I'm going to try my best to keep this intro very, very short. I just want to remind everyone, right now, I am looking for contributors for the Fantasy Flock Network. We are going to be working on the Fantasy Basketball channel, the Dynasty Fantasy Football channel, the main channel as well, and I am planning on starting up a baseball fantasy channel. I'm just going to be completely honest. While I love playing the game of baseball, I do not know nearly enough about fantasy baseball to make those videos myself. So I am looking for people to make videos. I am looking for people to record themselves, for them to be able to come on and talk fantasy baseball, as well as edit videos for any channel, make graphics for the channel, or really anything that you have in mind on how you would like to contribute, how you would like to get involved. I am really looking forward to hearing from you and your ideas. Please shoot me a DM on Twitter, Instagram, or shoot me an email. I'll leave all that information on the screen. Just, I don't remember where exactly I'll put it. Just scroll. You're going to find it. And in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be going through and looking at the players that have been extremely cold as of late. These are guys that are falling fast in fantasy basketball. And yeah, I mean, I think that everybody on this list deserves some discussion around them and what we can do with them going forward. But before we get into it, please drop a like, leave a comment asking any question that you have so other people can come out and answer, and subscribe to the channel if for whatever reason you have not done so already. All right. But anyway, let's start it off with a player that we just talked about a few days ago. And I had to do some research on him because of a trade question we received. And this is LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay, so with LaMarcus, I'm going to say, as a San Antonio Spurs fan, this is extremely disappointing. While the Spurs are actually playing at a level that I did not expect, they are winning basketball games right now. It's not with LaMarcus Aldridge helping at all. And I find it funny listening to other fantasy basketball podcasts and them saying that LaMarcus Aldridge may be traded from the San Antonio Spurs to a contender that needs a big man. And I'm sitting here saying, who the hell would ever trade for 35-year-old LaMarcus Aldridge at this point? Especially with his contract, I would assume that he's more of a contract dump guy than anything. And if you look at his last 6 games, I mean, it is literally laughable. This is why I said in a trade that involved LaMarcus Aldridge that in fantasy basketball, I mean, I am looking at him as the equivalent of a waiver wire guy, just because if you go through in a COVID season and you just project what bench players are going to be getting minutes with last minute inactives, you can easily make ad drops and get more production in your starting lineup than LaMarcus Aldridge is currently giving you. I mean, over his last 6 games, LA has been averaging 13 points a game while giving you almost nothing from the 3 ball, which is not anything that we expected, to be honest. But with your big men, you need rebounds. I mean, that's why this is something I don't even really talk about that often, just because it's kind of a given that if you significantly invest into the big man position, if you have a guy that you feel confident about, at the very minimum, he's going to be giving you 8-9 rebounds. I mean, this is a critique of Zion, where Zion's only averaging about 8 rebounds a game this season. Well, over the last 6, LaMarcus Aldridge is not even averaging 3.5 rebounds a game. I mean, it is straight up pathetic. I don't understand what is going on. And if you look at his assists, only 2 assists a game at the same time, and the defensive statistics are not there with only 1 steal in the last 6 games. He's averaging like 1 block a game at the same time, but still, that is not nearly enough considering the lack of production at any other category. So with LaMarcus Aldridge, I don't even know what to tell you right now. I mean, he's 35 years old. We're not expecting him to get any better anytime soon. Please let me know what y'all think in the comments. This is just kind of painful with myself. All right. So now, talking about San Antonio Spur, let's go to a University of Texas Longhorn that I loved in Brooklyn, but now he's playing in Cleveland, Jarrett Allen. I mean, with Jarrett Allen, I was expecting him to not necessarily make Andre Drummond completely irrelevant, but I was expecting Jarrett Allen to be the unsolidified #1 big man in Cleveland, just because the team investment that Cleveland decided to make into him. And if you just look at his career arc from here on out, you naturally assume that Jarrett Allen is Cleveland's plan at the big man position going forward. But since he got with the Cavaliers, we've still seen Andre Drummond kind of dominate this team in minutes. And while Jarrett Allen is still on the court plenty for the Cleveland Cavaliers, for whatever reason, his numbers are just drastically down compared to what they were with coming off the bench for the Brooklyn Nets, where Allen is averaging 12 points a game. I mean, we obviously know that he's not going to be giving you a single three ball, but the rebounds are way down. I mean, with the rebounds, it's down to 7 rebounds a game, only 1 assist at the same time, just not someone who's getting the ball in his hands very often. Jarrett Allen, I am kind of confused on what to do with him going forward. I definitely think that you need to hold him, especially considering the fact that if you look at Andre Drummond, I think it would make so much sense for this Cleveland Cavaliers team to decide to look for trade options, just because a team like Jarrett Allen's former team could desperately use a big man like Andre Drummond. So I think there's a potential trade on the horizon, especially with Kevin Love coming back and adding another big man to this rotation. And I know Kevin Love, Jarrett Allen, and Andre Drummond, I mean, those are like apples and oranges, but still, somebody has to be giving up minutes for Kevin Love. And I think the easiest answer is to be moving one of these big men off the roster. Okay. So now let's go to a player that over the last 2 games has looked like, I don't even want to say it. I mean, he has looked so bad. I mean, he looks like Oubre out here with Kyle Lowry, only 10 points a game over the last 2. But what's funny, and why I'm just looking at the last 2 games, is you look at his efficiency from the field. He's taken 23 shots from the field over those last 2 games, and he's made 4 of them. I know, like, what is that? What are we talking about with Kyle Lowry here? Also, only averaging 6 rebounds and 4 assists. And obviously, this is an incredibly small sample size to the point where you really can't take too much away from it. But it's just representative of the Tampa Bay Raptors. I'm going to say that just flat out. We obviously know the Toronto Raptors are playing in Tampa Bay currently. And I was actually at their opening night against the New Orleans Pelicans. And yeah, I know y'all are probably wondering, Mason, how the hell were you at an opening night? And it's because it's Florida. Florida is completely open, but regardless, here with the Raptors, I mean, everything is just falling apart. Nothing looks like it's getting any better anytime soon. And you have to question, what is going on with Kyle Lowry? I mean, what is the incentive for this team to keep him on the roster besides just keeping the fan base happy? Because I think that he could also be on the move if his play continues like this, as well as the Toronto Raptors cannot start winning games. Okay, but let's talk about someone that I mentioned as a buy low candidate a few days ago. And honestly, after his performance coming back from injury, it looks horrendous. This is going to be Russell Westbrook, who his last game back, I mean, we obviously know Westbrook has some of the worst efficiency numbers in the entire NBA. We obviously know if you're playing Russell Westbrook, especially in a category league, you're pretty much punting turnovers, you're punting field goal percentage, just because Westbrook, not a good player. I'm just going to come out here and say it. But I said if you're playing in a points league, Westbrook may be a guy to go out there and look at, just because we know that he's going to be close to averaging a triple-double every single game he plays, even though he's not going to be playing that many due to his rest days. And if we just look at this last game, 9 points, 3 for 11 from the field, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. And obviously, the Wizards have been dealing with a ton of COVID issues to the point where, I mean, this was their first game back in like 2 weeks, so it's hard to take too much away from it. But if Westbrook has some of the worst efficiency in the entire NBA, and there are duds like this in his range of outcomes, and we know Westbrook is a player that is going to be on a limit, he's not going to be playing back-to-backs, I think we just all have to laugh at Mason for telling y'all to go out there and possibly buy him on the low for some point leagues. But yeah, I mean, Westbrook looks like he is a completely different player this season. All right. So now our last player that we were going to talk about started off very hot, but he's kind of cooled down over the past 10 games. And this is going to be RJ Barrett. And over the last 10 games, we've seen RJ Barrett almost lead the league in minutes per game with like 35, 36. Clearly, Tom Thibodeau does not care about his New York Knicks rotation, and he's just trying to win as many regular season games as possible, as soon as possible, because he's playing his best players every single minute. But even with playing 35 minutes a game, I mean, RJ Barrett has been coming out and 17 points a game, which is not necessarily horrible, but when you're doing it off of this efficiency, it's kind of something we have to question. I mean, 41% from the field, 25% from three. And we know RJ Barrett's pretty much giving you nothing on the defensive side of the ball at the same time, not even averaging half a steal or half a block a game. So with RJ Barrett, I mean, if you're playing in a category league, this is a player that's kind of tanking a few categories for you, especially the percentage categories. But yeah, please guys, if I said anything that you don't agree with in this video, go down to the comment section. Let me hear it. Let me hear why I'm an idiot. Because a lot of times y'all leave a comment and I go, you know what? That's a good point. I was not thinking of it that way. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to act like I know significantly more than you do. So I like to hear your opinions at the same time. We are all a part of the flock and we all need to be helping out each other. But thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out so much. And yeah, that's it. I hope I'll see y'all with the video tomorrow.